But these official discussions were largely a formality, as the decision to send the fleet had come months earlier. The November 24th, 1924 edition of the New York Times reported that plans for the American fleet's maneuvers in the Pacific next summer include the dispatch to Australia and New Zealand of the most powerful American armada ever sent to the Antipodes. The Times even gave details on the ships involved, including a dozen battleships: Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Mississippi, California, Idaho, West Virginia, Tennessee, Maryland, and Colorado. The Times notes that these ships alone represent a heavier fleet than that which Fighting Bob Evans led around the world during the administration of President Roosevelt, a reference to the circumnavigation of the Great White Fleet between 1907 and 1909. In addition, the fleet would include many cruisers, destroyers, and support vessels. In fact, Russell Parkins, a senior research fellow at the Australian Land Army Warfare Studies Centre, notes in his 2008 book, Great White Fleet to Coral Sea, Naval Strategy and the Development of Australia-United States Relations, that speculation about such a cruise had been widespread since early 1924, but the visit could not be confirmed prior to the 1924 presidential election. The idea had support from both nations. Parkins writes that in April 1924, the Australian Commissioner in New York, Donald McKinnon, had reported that senior commanders in the United States Navy were anxious to see an American fleet follow the example of the British fleet, which has recently been in Australian waters, and that the Australian authorities were certainly keen for the visit to occur. In October 1924, Prime Minister Bruce's office wrote to the U.S. Consul General, Ezra Mills Lawton, in Melbourne, asking for confirmation of unofficial reports, assuring him that the Commonwealth government would regard such a visit as the utmost importance and would take the opportunity of according the naval representatives of the United States a fitting welcome. In July 1925, Minister to the United States Sir Henry Chilton passed on a message from Henry Forster, the Governor-General of Australia, to Kellogg. On behalf of the government and people of Australia, I send this message of greeting. To you as President, and through you to the people of your great country, we are delighted to express our most cordial feelings of friendship and goodwill in welcoming to Australian points the Commander-in-Chief, the officers and men of the Great Fleet of the United States of America. The people of the United States of America have shown to the world its will to peace and its deep desire to strengthen the bonds of friendship between nations. Still, despite the subtext of preparing for war, President Coolidge wrote in a message to the Governor-General that, I know that the people of Australia join with the people of the United States for the purpose of maintaining the peace of the world. Amidst these tensions, the preparations represented unique challenges. Museums Victoria notes that the fortnight-long visit of the U.S. fleet from 26 July to 6 August 1925 still represents the largest single contingent of foreign naval vessels ever received in Australia. A total of 57 vessels of the United States Navy, carrying some 25,000 officers and crew under the command of Admiral Robert E. Kuntz, left San Francisco in early June 1925, sailing first to Hawaii, where the fleet was engaged for several weeks in war games, before proceeding to Australia. It seems odd that the 1925 visit, which was the largest visit by a foreign fleet to Australia's shores, is nearly forgotten today. It doesn't even seem to be as well remembered as the 1909 visit by the Great White Fleet. It deserves to be remembered for the sheer size and spectacle of the event all by itself. It can hardly be said to have been a major factor in the tensions that would eventually lead to war. As Sales notes, if the 1925 fleet visit to Australia only incidentally affected U.S.-Japanese relations, that only illustrated to what a dangerous extent they had deteriorated already. But it did help to cement what Sales calls the fraternal sensibility of the English-speaking nations of the Pacific, helping to build a relationship that would become an important alliance in the war to come.